Pastor Kyle here to bring you some very exciting news. After many months of toil and bureaucratic red tape, we finally pushed through our amendment to rezone the area for 500 VFW Parkway. That's been approved as of this week, and next week we're going to close on it. So this is now the first time that Freedom Fellowship will have its very own property. The building property itself is not our only acquisitions. I'd like to show you something personally very exciting to me. We also got these beauts, all right? We got Big Bertha in the back and Mini Martha, but don't let the name fool you. This thing is large and in charge, lots of room for activities, and they're all ours. Well, without further ado, the moment y'all been waiting for, let's take a look inside. Well, we can't get inside, but what I can show you is something else I'm very excited about. We have our very own pavilion, along with a railing here. The old VFW had this railing. Why, you might ask? Well, it's to keep the drunks in line so that they can kind of stumble their way into this place. Are we still going to need it for our church? I hope not. Let's look at the size of this thing. Woo! It's beautiful, big, it's got lighting. It's going to need a little bit of work. Probably don't need to use fences here, I would guess. But we could do outdoor teachings here, potlucks, parties, you name it. All kinds of room for activities. And as you see here, this fence, the thing is, if we take this down soon, we can go ahead and start having summer central teachings here. We would just take this out and then spread everyone out across this massive property with chairs that could fit everyone, and everyone's 6 feet apart. I'd also like to show you here, for all you bocce ball fans, our very own bocce ball courts. 2 of them, as a matter of fact. We could use them for bocce ball tournaments, or we could just rip them up, pray for another use for them. I don't know. Inside our property is more than 9,000 square feet of meeting space for central teachings, hangout space, cell group meetings, home church, you name it. As a matter of fact, on the other side of this wall is our main meeting space, which is quite large for sure. And on the other side, outside, is our very own satellite dish. We're talking to space. On the outside is our very own big, beautiful satellite dish. Did someone say Brown's tailgate parties? I just did. For all you food lovers out there, on the other side of this wall, we have our industrial-sized kitchen. At the top, you'll notice our 2 large vents. That's for deep frying. Yeah, through this window, I can see our steak room. No other building that I've ever heard of has a steak room. This one does. Oh yeah. And we even have our very own flag. Well, not yet, but at some point. Probably. And there it is, 500 VFW Parkway. Perhaps we should be 500 Freedom Fellowship Parkway. That would mean renaming the street. I don't know how to do that. All right, so I asked one of our elders here, Freedom Fellowship, Joel Hughes, to tag along here. Welcome, Joel. At least I think that's you behind that.
That's me.
Much better. So Joel, we've, as a church, described ourselves in the past as the church without walls. What did that mean? Like, what does it mean to be a church without walls?
Well, the word church isn't even in the Bible. It's really a made-up word. In the Bible, it always would say the assembly, or the gathering, or the people called out. And so we are an assembly, and we can assemble wherever we want. We can assemble in homes, we can assemble in cell groups, we can assemble in big buildings. it doesn't really matter. But the church has never been about being a property or a building where you go for a show once a week. It's always been about the relationships between people, and that's what we're trying to focus on.
Well, that's all well and fine, but now we find ourselves as a church with walls. What gives?
Yeah, it sounds strange, but to be honest, this is a provision from the Lord that we didn't see coming. We didn't know we needed. We used to meet, on campus, and this was before the novel coronavirus pandemic and the COVID-19 disease that it causes. And little did we know that we would be off campus for the indefinite future. And if we wanted to meet at all, we were going to need a place to meet where it doesn't rain, because we can meet in the park for part of the summer, but when it rains, we need to find somewhere to be. And so what we have here actually is insurance against becoming an institution, because this building is not big enough to be a megachurch. You can't fit 600 people inside. And so we're going to have to be a church without walls that meets from home to home, that meets for discipleship and relationships. And this really, I'm going to call it our life center. It's a place where we do our study center, where we have some meetings, where we have our church offices. It's our headquarters for training people. We could train up church planters here, and we're going to be spread out all over the place, but we needed at least one spot that we could have for our headquarters.
Fantastic. Well, it seems like a building like this offers so much utility. What do you see as uses of this property that most excite you?
I had an idea just today, to be honest, and I think it would be so fun to have Food Truck Challenge as a fundraiser and get our cooks in the fellowship to show up in this huge parking lot and make stuff, and for like a suggested donation, and to keep the health department away. It won't be like we won't invite the community necessarily, but if they came, hey, it's a potluck.
Yeah.
But I could see us doing food trucks. I could see us doing like car washes. I could see us doing
drive-in
movies. Maybe paint the side of the bus garage white, and then that'll be a gigantic screen. I could see us using the steak room for a fundraiser, and before we have to tear it out. We're going to have to tear it out.
We'll talk about that later, okay?
We do get free
let's
gas.
not commit.
Maybe it has a steak room because we get free gas because there's gas wells on the property.
Wow.
But I see us doing all kinds of things here. Training center, study center, cell group retreats, whatever we want.
Fantastic. So, based on our tour, we saw that there's a lot of work that'll need done to this property.
Yes.
So what do you see as some pressing needs, perhaps in the near future, that we'll need volunteers for?
We're going to need volunteers to give us money.
That's
and they
a good
already
point.
are,
Yeah.
which is amazing. But we have to have licensed, bonded people come in and fix the sprinkler system, which is not going to be cheap in order to get occupancy. And we're going to need to get the bathrooms repaired. And then, but the landscaping, there's a ton of landscaping we could be doing. There's a ton of repairs to the parking lot that we could maybe work on. And we're going to have to be smart about it. We shouldn't just get a mob out here. And so we should talk to our people in fellowship that have experience to say, is this better for us to do or better for us to hire out?
Yeah.
Because some things you can do yourself, and some things it's not worth it. You're just going to mess it up.
Yeah. Well, we're certainly going to need a lawnmower. This grass is getting out of control for sure. But what I do love about this property is that, to make this happen, to make this work, we're going to need the entire body of Christ here at Freedom Fellowship to come together and, put in the work and it's going to be a group effort here.
It's going to be a group effort. It's going to be a bonding experience, and I think it's going to become a community center.
Yeah.
I want to reach out to the houses behind it and the veterans that used to come here that are now at a different post.
Yeah.
And I want to invite them back and say, look what we've done with the place.
Yeah.
This could be a magnet for outreach and for people to find out about what we do in our fellowship and study the Bible with us and things like that. I could see us having marriage retreats or parenting classes, all kind of classes. All of our LTC classes, we'll fire them up again. And as we come out of the social distancing, I think people are going to really be looking for ways to enjoy themselves with other people. And this is going to be a big one for us.
All right. Well, thank you for your time today,
Thank
Joel.
you.
Take care.
Now I got to put this on again.
Oh, yeah. You better do that.
Where's yours?
Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the tour of our brand new property. Stay tuned for updates on our Freedom Fellowship Facebook page and also for part 2 of our video where we take a look at the inside. This is Pastor Kyle signing off.